Several Republican presidential hopefuls are taking the stage in Miami tonight for the third GOP debate.
And once again, the man polling ahead of all these contenders will not be squaring off against them. Former Governor Ron DeSantis and former Governors Chris Christie and Nikki Haley have all qualified for tonight's debate. Senator Tim Scott and entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy also qualified.
Now, for the third time, Donald Trump has chosen not to take to the debate stage. But a recent CBS News poll finds that the former president maintains a commanding lead over his Republican rivals.
The CBS News chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett is with us now. He is joined by Washington Congresswoman Suzan DelBene, who also serves as the chair of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee.
So it's great to be with you. A lot of things happening in American politics. We have the Republican presidential debate tonight, but yesterday we had elections across the country, and that's why I want to talk to Congresswoman DelBene about. Congresswoman DelBene, it's great to have you with us. You're head of the DCCC, which is in charge of re-electing and electing Democrats to the House. You're trying to get a House majority back in the 2024 elections. Each election is different and separate, but what, if anything, did you learn last night that you believe will be relevant to 2024, at least in terms of House races?
Well, we definitely learned that people across the country are rejecting extremism and the extremism that they see from the Republican Party. In particular, we saw voters come out in Ohio and Virginia and reject the ongoing attempts by Republicans to take away reproductive rights across the country. This isn't the first time we've seen this on an ongoing basis since the election in 2022. So this will continue to be an important issue as we head into 2024, because that's where Republicans are. They want a national abortion ban to be in place. They're pushing for that at the federal level, and voters continue to reject it, and they rejected it again last night.
And when you look at the results from, as you mentioned, Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, other than abortion, is there anything else thematic you draw from that? For example, in Kentucky, in the governor's race, there was an aggressive attempt to paint the Democratic incumbent, Andy Beshear, as essentially the same thing as Joe Biden and run against the president's record. In Kentucky, Governor Beshear was comfortably reelected. What do you glean from that?
You know, as I've traveled across the country, people want to see governance work. And that's not just in blue states, that's in purple districts across the country. People want to see governance work. They want strong, responsible leaders. And right now we have chaos, dysfunction, and extremism from the Republican Party. We're seeing that absolutely in the House as we're at the brink of another shutdown because of their dysfunction and chaos. And so when you talk about providing stability and certainty, providing leaders who are actually focused on getting things done for the American people, that's what Democrats have been doing. That's what President Biden has been doing. And that's what voters want to see. So we saw that last night. We're going to continue to make sure people see the dysfunction and extremism that we see on the Republican side, and make sure they understand the incredible opportunity they have to have responsible leaders who want to move our country forward.
Congresswoman DelBene, you read the polls like all of us do. You know that there is disquiet out there. You know the wrong track number augurs against President Biden's reelection. Everyone in the Democratic Party, at least that I talked to on Monday and Tuesday, was very much worried about these New York Times Siena poll numbers showing in swing states the president running behind the likely Republican nominee, Donald Trump. And yet, voters did something slightly unexpected on Tuesday. Is there a disconnect between what's being polled and what actually happens on election days?
Well, I remember in 2022, folks were talking about the red wave that was going to take over the House, and that never happened. We know that voters spoke loudly last night and want to make sure that they have strong leadership. We need to continue to talk about the great work that has happened, not just legislation that has passed, but what's happening on the ground, the road or the bridge in a neighborhood that's being fixed, the broadband that's coming into community, seniors having their insulin costs capped at $35 a month, all of these things that are helping American families. It's so important that we talk about that and continue to talk about strong, responsible leadership. And we've had that from President Biden. We've had that from Democrats in Congress. And all we see on the other side is the dysfunction and chaos and the extremism. I think you're going to see voters, when they come to vote in 2024, continue to prioritize strong, responsible leadership, folks who are here to govern, to build a strong future, as opposed to the extremist agenda on the Republican side. And that's going to make a huge difference. And clearly it made a difference last night.
Last question very quickly, Congresswoman. If I were to talk to you Monday and said, are you going to win a majority for Democrats in the House in 2024? I'm sure you would have said yes. Would you say that more confidently today than you would have on Monday?
You know, the American people are with us. We only need 5 more seats to take back the majority in the House of Representatives. We have great candidates across the country, great incumbents. So we are in a great position, are going to continue to work for the American people, and look forward to making that case with voters all the way through next year.
Congresswoman Suzan DelBene, chair of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, thank you very much.